Well, good morning everybody and welcome to day 56. Can you believe it that we are on day 56 of Coronagate, as we've called this vlog series. So once again, if you are watching this morning, which I don't think anybody is at the moment, but please say good morning and let me know that you are listening and that you're there. I just want to share with you something really quite exciting this morning that I read last night on Facebook. It was a status update by a guy that I'm following on Facebook called Pete Grieg. I just thought I'd read it with you and then just reflect on a couple of things that I thought of as I read it, and that kind of linked to a couple of things that we're doing as a church as well today and sort of over the next few days. So I'm going to read this to you, but as I read it, as I say, if you are there, which I can see one person is there watching already, please do say good morning. Wendy, good morning. I can only see if you're watching if you're friends with me, so don't take it personally if I don't realise that you're not there. Yes, anyway, let me get into this and read this to you. This is what Pete Grieg says. He says, something is stirring in the UK, and I do think that's true. Something is stirring in the UK. I've hesitated to write this post. It's probably premature. We're still bang slap in the middle of a vast crisis and no one really knows how it's all going to end. But here's the thing. Over recent weeks, and particularly over this last week, prayers that some of us have been praying for decades suddenly seem to be finding answers in the most unexpected ways. This is certainly something that we've seen. So for starters, there's the National Blessing song that's been pulled together by my friend Tim Hughes. Bit of a name drop there, Pete Grieg. Released a week ago. It's been watched now 2.1 million times, which is the equivalent to 200 new people watching it every single minute of every single hour since last Sunday. Isn't that remarkable? 2.1 million views since Sunday on that blessing video. Yesterday I was talking to a BBC journalist who commented on the song's extraordinary display of unity. Stories just keep coming in from those who don't consider themselves religious, saying the track has moved them unexpectedly to tears. It's a worship song going viral. Everything that we're praying for? Of course not, but it is something. You better believe it, maybe something is stirring. Okay, so that first indicator, blessing video, being crazy. And then the next thing, the prayer surge. So there's been research commissioned by Tear Fund that was released on the same day as the blessing video. This survey indicates that some 3 million new people have turned to prayer in the UK since lockdown began. The online British bookstore Eden reports a 55% increase in sales of Bibles in April, and demand for resources from 24/7 prayer has been going through the roof. At Emmaus Road, which is Pete Grieg's church, twice daily prayer meetings are suddenly wonderfully attended. Now we know why. So is a sudden urge start of prayer everything that we need? Of course not, but it is something. Could it be a start of something stirring within the UK? Yeah, what else does he say? He says the Tear Fund survey, the same Tear Fund survey also indicated that record numbers have begun attending church online since lockdown began. Generally, you'd expect to see something in the region of 5 to 7% of the nation attend a Sunday service at least once a month. But over the past couple of months, this figure has jumped. In fact, it's skyrocketed to 24%. 24% of the British population, 1 in 4 people, attending a church service, and 5% of these people wouldn't normally be in church in a month of Sundays. Nicky Gumbel says, I've never known a time in my life when people are more open to God's word than they are now. Amazing. It is amazing. Pete also comments on Alpha. He says that people are more likely to attend a normal church service if they've attended a digital one first. At Emmaus Road, we've been no means unusual by having more than doubled our attendance since lockdown. Before anyone says that it's all just sightseers from other churches, we've also had more people than ever signed up to our next Alpha course online. None of this is what any of us expected on that dark day in March when the government first forbade all public. I didn't hear anyone back then, least of all the cynics, now questioning these signs of life, saying, oh, cancelling services and closing church buildings, that's genius. it's inevitably going to bring more 18 to 34-year-olds to church. It's just amazing, isn't it, what we're seeing? Yeah, and then the last couple of things he just kind of pulls out. Public opinion, so slowly the national media is picking up the story. First the Guardian newspaper last Sunday, then Good Morning Britain TV on Wednesday. A piece by my friend Krish Krandaya, okay, another name drop by Pete Grieg, in the Times on Friday. The BBC News at 10 o'clock last night. What are we to make of this in this time? All this positive media attention. Is it everything that we've been praying for? Well, maybe it's not everything, but it certainly is something. It's a pleasant change from the unusual, cynical sniping that we normally see. Yeah, and the other thing that he points out that's also really interesting is that all of this and the demographic that's leading this change in the church and really making a difference is the supposedly post-Christian 18 to 34-year-old category that's leading the way in kind of sparking this period of renewal. And and it might seem like it's too soon to kind of call it that. Maybe this is just a bit of a blip in this time of crisis and it won't come to nothing. But this is how Pete Grieg ends. He says, could these embers spark a wildfire? Does tragedy inevitably precede resurrection? Could this be the beginning of the spiritual awakening in our nation, which so many have been praying for so faithfully for so long? Wow, amazing words. He says, my friends, this is a time to pray with greater faith, preach with greater confidence, and plan with greater ambition. It's not everything, but it's something. Let's dare to believe. Brilliant. I love this so much. So one of the things that we are going to be doing over the next kind of few days as church, we've kind of launched a few things, or in the process of launching a few things anyway, that are going to come out in the next few days, and part of that's in response to this. So later on today we're going to launch a video that's just going to basically launch our new online prayer room. So good morning, Melissa, I see you're watching now. So we're going to launch a video later today that launches our new online prayer room. So that's a place where people can go to submit prayer requests and pray for other people. We're just jumping on the bandwagon of the amount that prayer has just basically rocketed over in terms of Google searches and just a trend of people wanting to pray. So we're just jumping on the back of that bandwagon basically and trying to enable our city to pray and to be prayed for. So we're launching that today. We're also launching a thing called Walk to Bulgaria, which is we're trying to help communities in Bulgaria that have been affected by the coronavirus, and these were communities that were already affected by just all kinds of different types of poverty and human trafficking and all the rest of it. And part of the reason why we're doing that is because it's a wonderful thing and we want to be helping those communities. But another part of it is it's also a way to involve our friends and family and people in our city in the mission of the church, and to say, hey, will you sponsor me? Hey, will you come and walk with me? Will you come and get involved in what it is that we're doing? So it's not just that we're helping those communities out there, which of course we're doing, and we should do that, but we're also saying, hey, come on, there's an interest in spirituality, there's an interest in church, there's an interest in Jesus. Come and help us, because this is what following Jesus looks like. Following Jesus looks like taking care of the poor and the vulnerable. And you might still have lots of questions about Christianity, or you might still have lots of questions about church and stuff that you've seen in the past. But this is about putting stuff in your hands that you can do to do the sort of things that Jesus did. And so we're calling people to follow him in some sense by using the online prayer room, by joining us as we walk to Bulgaria. And then lastly, the other thing that's going to be coming out in the next few days, we're going to be doing a kind of a Q&A session in a couple of Sundays' time online, just trying to answer basic questions about Christianity for lots of the people that have just basically taken up an interest in church, but might have lots of questions still about Jesus and the Bible and Christianity. And so, yeah, we just want to be answering those questions as well. So, yeah, really exciting time, and I just encourage you to be doing what Pete Grieg said there on his status update. Let's pray with greater faith, preach with greater confidence, and plan with great ambition. What we're seeing, the church on TV, the blessing with 2.1 million views, people returning to want to pray, 18 to 34s back in church. this could well be a blip, but let's believe that this could be the start of something greater. Let's plan as if it could be the start of something greater, and go through it with everything that we've got. So we're going to walk to Bulgaria. We're going to start an online prayer room. We're going to do lots of kind of gospel content online and share it with our friends and just see what happens. So that's it from me, guys. But I'm praying that you have a fantastic day today, and yeah, enjoy whatever it is that you're doing, and I'm just praying that the Lord blesses it enormously. So that's it from me. See you later. Bye bye bye.